found my best friend's husband on Tinder, and when I told her, she broke up with me. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it's sending me on Instagram. I have a pretty good relationship with my best friend. We're able to be honest with each other, but about certain things, I just can't talk to her. She's very, very snarky. She thinks she's very funny. So when I tell her sometimes about my deepest, darkest secrets or the problems I'm having in my marriage, weeks later, she'll put her foot in her mouth and bring it up in front of other people. I have called her out for it, but she still doesn't understand why it would bother me that she's bringing up private things that I've told her in the past. When she tells me all of her private problems, I will never repeat them to anybody else. That's what best friends are for. She has a history of making mean jokes, but because she's naturally abrasive, she doesn't realize she's being mean. For example, sometimes she makes fun of my weight. She knows I've been trying to lose weight for 5 years, and I finally got on Ozempic. Only then did I actually start to lose weight. This is when she started calling me an Ozempic baby. I kind of laughed it off, and my husband did too, but then my husband called her out for it. And when he did, she's like, oh my gosh, you guys have no sense of humor. But this is what happened with her husband. My husband actually works for Tinder, and he asked me to download the app to look at some things. He kind of uses me like his guinea pig. It's actually pretty fun, and we do it together on the couch. As we're scrolling through the app, we see a very familiar picture. It happens to be my best friend's husband. When we click into the profile, he's posting pictures that he's literally taken with her at restaurants. By the way, my husband and I have a theory that he only married her because of her money. She comes from a really wealthy family, and he's way better looking than she is. And this just gets even worse. Go to part 2. I found my bestie's husband on Tinder, and when I told her about it, she broke up with me. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it's on me on Instagram. Once my husband and I see the account, he goes on his work laptop and confirms that it's actually his account. My husband and I decided that I just needed to tell her. Now, my best friend is notorious for being very, very dramatic, so I was kind of not wanting to tell her, but I knew I had to. Okay, and a little side note. In part 1, I said that she's snarky and she has foot in the mouth syndrome, and that she sometimes spills my secrets. So you're probably wondering why I would be best friends with her, but she's always been there for me. So I invite her out to a cafe the next morning, and as soon as we sit down, I start to cry. She comes over to comfort me, but I couldn't actually get the words out of my mouth, so I just pulled out my phone and showed her husband's Tinder account. That's when she says, why are you showing this to me? And I told her I thought you'd want to know the truth. Then the most bizarre thing happened. She began to list off all the reasons I'm envious of her. That I've always wanted her life, I envy her relationship with her perfect husband, that I envy her money, and that I wish I was as skinny as she is. But I defended myself quickly. I told her that of course I didn't feel those things, and that all I wanted to do was have her back and show her husband's Tinder account. That's when she started telling me that even though her husband cheats on her, doesn't mean that I'm better than her. That my relationship with my husband is better. This is when I found out through another friend that she knew he had been cheating on her for 2 months on Tinder. That she's so desperate to keep him happy that she just ignores it. And she pays for all of his bills. Because I know for a fact this man does not work. She told my friend group that my husband and I are envious and that we're starting to make up rumors about her husband cheating. Now we're the outcasts. What should I do?
I traveled to a foreign country to get pregnant by a complete stranger with no strings attached. I consider it the best decision I've ever made. 7 years ago, when I was 24 years old, I decided that I wanted to have a child while I was still relatively young and energetic. I had a college degree, made $90,000 a year as a marketing analyst, and had been investing in the stock market since high school, so I knew I could afford to take care of a kid. The problem was that I didn't really want to be with the guy. I've tried the dating thing, but nothing really clicked, and besides, I was always too busy to invest in a relationship. At the same time, I wanted a child, someone I would love forever and who would forever love me. And I didn't want to wait until my biological clock started ticking alarmingly. I considered going to a sperm bank. I could afford it, but I've always hated medical environments and thought it would be creepy to have a child with a faceless man. I thought about getting naturally inseminated by a guy I met online, but I didn't want to deal with child custody issues. Finally, I decided that since I'd already planned a 3-week working vacation to a foreign country, I won't say which for privacy reasons, I might as well try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Long story short, after asking around and paying some people, I found this guy who was willing to sleep with me. You resorted to prostitution? What? Long story short, after asking around and paying some people, I found this guy who was willing to sleep with me every night for 3 weeks. Since this country has a low cost of living, he was willing to do the deed for a few $100s. He spoke okay English and wore a white button-down shirt, so I think he was a college student who wanted some extra spending money. What the heck? Why? I didn't really expect it to work, but 2 weeks after I got back, I missed my period and discovered that I was pregnant. Yay. What do you mean you didn't expect it to work? That's how you get pregnant. The rest of the pregnancy went really well. My mom was a little shocked at first, but she moved in with me after she got used to the idea of becoming a grandma before the age of 50. My dad ditched my mom when I was a baby, so F him. I switched to working from home 6 months into my pregnancy and was even promoted a few months after I gave birth. My son is now 6 years old and the happiest little boy I know. He has a mother and a grandmother who love him to pieces and can give him a good life. When COVID hit and his school went remote, my mom was able to make sure he kept up with his learning. Support systems are so important, everyone. Sometimes you shouldn't be afraid to take the road less traveled. I'm over 30 and I haven't met any guy that I want to date, much less settle down with. But I have a son who I'll love forever and who will forever love me. I'm even thinking of going back to that country to give him a sibling. So funny but wrong. I don't know how to feel. Everyone still thinks that I got knocked up by accident, a youthful mistake while on vacation type of deal. Only I know the truth. My son is not some unfortunate mistake. He's a deliberate miracle. So many of my female friends are hitting their 30s and scrambling to find a guy and or get pregnant. But I'm coasting along happy as a clam. You know, she said it twice. I want to have kids so that I can love someone forever and someone who will forever love me. Your child is 6. Okay, they have a long future ahead of them. Not saying this is going to happen, but sometimes kids don't like their parents or they have a falling out or stuff happens. There's no guarantee that kid is going to want to stay in your life forever, especially if he finds out what you did. You deliberately held him back from having a father figure in his life just because you didn't want a man in your life, which I think is wrong. Weird. I don't know, dude. Like, okay. Am I wrong for ruining my mom's engagement party after she abandoned me when I was 11? I, 70 male, have a strange relationship with my mom, 35 female, after an incident that happened about 6 years ago. My mom was super strict and a helicopter parent, so we fought a lot over my grades and the trouble I got into at school. She had essentially abandoned me, signing over custody to my dad after I had told her something along the lines of, I hate you and I wish I lived with my dad. Typical things an angsty preteen says to the parent, but that fight seemed to have broke her and she cried before dropping me off to my dad's apartment. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal and I would just see her the next day after she proved her point, but she left me there. After that, things got essentially worse for me. My grades dropped and I kept getting into trouble at school, almost to the point where I was kicked out. My dad never had job security, so money was tight. His girlfriend also wasn't fond of me, saying I was dumped on them. I wanted to go back to living with my mom. I thought to apologize, but my mom had essentially moved on with her life. She went back to college to get her degree and was always studying, and later on was focused on her new work. On the weekends, I would get to see her. Things were tense between us. She tried so hard to be the fun parent, eating takeout and leaving me to do what I wanted, but it was so unlike her and we became more estranged. 3 years ago, she started dating Paul, 39 male, a widower with 2 daughters, 9 and 13. She started treating his daughters like they were her own, and they even started calling her mom, which irritated me. Eventually, they moved into my mom's house and changed my childhood bedroom into one of the daughters' rooms. I was livid when I found out, saying some mean things about the girls, and refused to go back there for my mom's weekends, but she was confused on why I was acting this way. Because of this fight, she thought I wouldn't be attending the engagement party when she announced her and Paul would be getting married. Besides, she didn't want me there to ruin the perfect picture of her new family, so I made it a point to go for the party and called her out for her behavior. I wanted to confront her and tell her she wouldn't have to bother with me after I go off for college, but I may have taken it a tad too far. Everyone kept talking about how Paul's daughters were like her children and how it would be when she had more kids, and it snapped something in me. I called her a horrible parent and told her that she was trying to replace me with the little brats after she had abandoned me, along with some other insults I don't really remember. Paul kicked me and my dad out, saying I was an asshole for making his fiancé and girls cry and ruining the engagement party. He said I won't be allowed to the wedding unless I called and apologized. I may have taken it a bit too far, but my dad agrees she had it coming after abandoning a young child at an age when he needed his mother the most. So, am I the asshole? Should I apologize? You don't drop your kid at 11? At 11 for saying I hate you and I wish I lived with my dad. They're a literal child. So he feels hurt. Like, I understand, like, he's wrong. Of course he's wrong. But he's acting out. He's hurt. Like, she doesn't understand, like, how hard that is for him to picture that. Ugh.
Girlfriend, 28 female, changed her phone password, and now I, 29 male, can't access it anymore. What do I do?
I don't know. I've never given a crap.
I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for a few years now. We've been living together for about a year. We've had our ups and downs. There's an issue that's really been bothering me lately.
Okay.
My girlfriend recently changed the password on her phone, and now I can't access it anymore. Previously, I knew her password and could use her phone when needed. I never felt controlling because she never made a fuss about it until now.
Okay.
My girlfriend is somewhat active on social media. She has lots of friends on Snapchat and has a lot of followers on Instagram. She is always posting photos and chatting to her friends. She has a lot of male followers, and I'm worried about the kinds of men she is getting attention from.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why I want to monitor her, to make sure she is staying safe and not getting harassed or bothered by any of these guys.
How old is she? 12? Is she 12? No?
28, 1 year younger than this guy.
Okay, she's 28 years old. You want to monitor her and keep her safe?
Yeah, and I also put a baby monitor next to her side of the bed. Yeah, just keep her safe, you know?
What are you fucking talking about? She's a grown-ass woman. If she's cheating on you, she'll cheat on you. Sorry, I don't know. It's not good. It's not right. It's not right, and it's fucked up, and I hope you don't get cheated on, man.
Yeah. Yesterday, I used her phone just to check up on her, and that's when I found out she had changed her password. I asked her about it, and she said she wanted to have a bit more privacy. I don't understand. I let her use her phone by herself. She has lots of privacy.
Human being wants privacy. More at 11.
Water wet.
Water is wet.
I explained to her that it made me feel more secure knowing I could access her phone and that it was important for me to have that level of trust and openness in our relationship.
But that's not the reason that you stated in the post. The reason you stated in the post was to keep her safe.
Yeah, I wanted her to be safe.
But you're telling her that it's to make you feel secure. So which is it?
Yeah, which way, modern man? She said she understands but still wants her privacy.
Yeah.
I'm struggling with this because I don't understand why she felt the need to change it all of a sudden.
Is this human the physical embodiment of the NSA? Like, I don't, or like the Patriot Act or something? Like, I don't get it. Why do you need to know everything going on your partner's phone? It's exhausting to me. Maybe I'm just not that way. I don't know.
Listen, if you're looking up stair climber benefits, I need to know. You okay?
Just like, yeah. Like we can go through our phones right now. Each other's phones.
That's what I just looked up. I looked that up recently. That's why
I was gonna be like, you're gonna go on Amazon and be like, damn, this bitch looks at a lot of yarn.
I'm struggling with this because I don't understand why she felt the need to change it all of a sudden. It feels like a step backward in our relationship, and I'm finding it hard to shake the feeling that she's keeping something from me. How should I handle this situation? Please don't come at me. Only comment if you have genuine advice. So only have genuine advice there. How do I, 29 male, inform this woman, 29 female, that she is not my girlfriend?
What?
How do I, 29 male, inform this woman, 29 female, that she is not my girlfriend?
I mean, there is very well could be that she is like, I don't know, like they're on, you know, there's a lot of like situationships now that I'm like, it very well could be that she thinks that she's his girlfriend and he's like, no, you're not. I don't know.
Okay. I am in a peculiar situation.
Sounds like it.
This woman we will call Rachel is under the impression that we are in a relationship. This has been going on for 4 years now.
Okay.
I have never asked her to be my girlfriend, but there was a miscommunication at some point. Now, I won't lie. I played into it a lot and I shouldn't have.
Okay. Why would you?
I did all the couple things couples do, but I never asked her to be my girlfriend at all or referred to her as my girlfriend. I didn't stop her from calling me her boyfriend or wanting to celebrate our anniversary. In my mind, however, I was single, so when I hear her ask about marriage or moving in together, it makes no sense. I figured she would one day realize I never officially asked her and then realize it before things got out of hand, but she never did. It's her prerogative to correct this mistake I made. Eventually...
well, this is what I mean. You gotta teach your sons to be like, communicate, please.
A little bit, yeah. Everything was fine until about a month ago. I met this beautiful woman. There's this food truck that isn't far from my house. I asked her for her number and we have hit it off. Things are getting serious, and I'm going to ask her to be my girlfriend soon. Before I do, I need to address the elephant in the room with Rachel. So that was the original post. Edit.
I did ask her to be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? That's way too little information.
Edit, for clarification purpose, I was wrong. I'm remorseful and disgusted with my actions. I know people think I'm not remorseful, but that's not true at all. What I did was disgusting, and that's the end. That's the end of the post. That's the end.
You're the asshole for not saying what the miscommunication was.